This week we keep on making our fire pit, and here is how we started making the forms for the fire pit itself. To make the form, we used 12 pieces of plywood 1/4 inch that are glued in together to make a polygon as per the previous explanation. Here we are gluing it down together and using strap to hold it in place. Once the straps are tightened, this thing is rock solid. We also use some glue for the seams to hold it in place temporarily while the straps were not in place. Second thing we needed was some rocks for the actual fire pit. I used my 4-wheelers going on the road beside my house and collected rocks that were about the size of my fist. I wanted them as close to each other on size to make them as even as possible. Total cost of the rock was 0, so pretty efficient. Now we're taking the form that we built earlier, and I took a measurement inside to make a mark all around it for 4 inches, because the base of my fire pit is going to be concrete only 4 inches thick. So here I'm putting the form in place and making sure it's leveled, so the concrete base is going to be leveled also when it's done. Whenever you make anything in concrete, buy the raw ingredients. It's a lot cheaper. Portland cement, sand, and rocks. We are mixing them 3 parts sand, 2 parts rocks, 1/2 inch, and 1 part Portland cement with a little bit of water. And make sure to look for the instruction to have the right consistency, and make sure everything is always going to be the same thing whenever you mix it. Once I'm done filling up the base of my forms, I make sure it's leveled and flat it down. When you make your own cement like I did in this video, you are saving a lot of money. A bag of raw cement, which is Portland cement, is about $8. A bag of sand is $5, and a bag of rocks is about $5 also. So whenever you're making it, you're basically covering the cost of 5 bags for the price of 1. Now that my base is flat and poured, I'm now gonna cut the top part of my washer drum, making the opening bigger for my fire pit itself. My zip cut was not gonna reach the entire surface, so I had to go with a hacksaw to finish the job. But it came out pretty good, pretty happy about it. Now that the drum opening is cut out, I'm going down to centering out the drum inside my concrete pour. And also, now what we're going to be doing is put some rocks all around the form that are going to be touching the plywood. And once they're in place, we are going to pour concrete behind it. But before we pour the concrete, we have to put some sand in the front of each rocks. That's going to keep the concrete from oozing out and making the rocks hidden behind the concrete. The sand is here to protect the face of the rocks and make it look pretty. Before my cement is set, I'm actually cutting out the piece of steel that's used for the hinge of the spark guard. And now you see how the sand is in the front and the cement is poured. Now once the cement is set, you go back, remove the form, and use water to spray the sand off to make the stone come out of the actual pour. This looks pretty good, and it's a pretty easy way to do it. If you found this video interesting, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for next week's episode, where I'm actually gonna be putting the mortar in between the stones and making the fire pit actually looking even better.